Today, let's create the project inside the Unity. So I will create a new project here. I'm using Unity 2000.3.13 F1. I will use the 3D sample scene because I'm just using URP for my projects. I will call this project as menu. You can call it whatever you want and just hit create. This is our scene inside Unity. I will assume that you already know what that means here. So at least the minimum what each window does. So I'll just be creating the asset, the things, and I will try to comment for those that are not so used to use. But I expect that you at least know what Unity is, and I will just focus to explain the code that could be that is very different from the code that we are used to use inside the Unity daily base. So because we are using another namespace from Unity called Unity Engine.networking. From except for that, everything else is known by you, I believe. So let's create here a UI called canvas. I will use the input field. I will use the Text Mesh Pro version because it's more beautiful, the graphics. Let me import here, it's very quickly. And go to 2D here so we can see the canvas. And the canvas here, we can change it for scale with screen. This is much better. Let me extend this so we can see the white canvas here, and we can place all elements. Let me create an image just to make it a little bit better. Could be a raw image. Just expand a little bit. I will not focus here in making a beautiful design. So if you want this, you can do by yourself because this is not the goal of the series. So here I will make an input for the email name. Duplicate this, go down. First I will make the register, and then we'll make the login. Here we call it email. This one we call it password. And this we call it re-password, just to re-enter the password. We can move it up. Of course we can change the placeholders here, but to be quickly in this video I will not do this. I will not put the names here. It will be a good thing for your UI if you can put the names here, login, name, email, password, re-password, to be more beautiful. And I will make my UI a little bit better when I make my in offline. So when you see it again in the future, probably will be much better. But the changes I will do here, I expect that you know how to do it. So I am not concerned about that. This is the enter button, and I will change this text here because okay, it's needed. And I will make a little one here. That I will call register button. And inside it, I will create a register and make it no bold. Reduce to 10. Okay. Oh. And I will put it here. Of course, you need to anchor these elements because when change the scale here, it will be very different, but I hope you know to do this. Okay, just save. So the first field, I will fast forward here because I will put some names here because it's a little horrible to don't know what means at each one of the fields. Okay, it's simple, but it's beautiful. So inside this script folder here, I will create the login, but inside this login I will create the register user script. The first thing we need to do here is to use text mesh pro. We need to create some fields here. I used to make it serialized, so it's a good practice. I'll call it text mesh pro u GUI. This will be the name text, and it will be email, password, password. Okay, I will not use this or this, and we need to use networking here. And the networking is a good practice to create a enumerator to create our networking code, because this code will be asynchronous, and the unit has this enumerator that we can imagine as a promise, you know, and it is use this string using here. This using is, you see that we have this using here. If you can search in the internet is a good thing for you because we understand a little more about code, but what we are saying here that in this case, of course, different from here, this using here is saying that everything that we call inside this using will be allocated, and in the end, when the code get outside of the using, this will deallocate the memory. So it's something like when we create a delegate, if you know what it means. When you on enable or disable, we subscribe to the delegate, and in on disable we unsubscribe, so this will be the same here. We can create a Unity web request. We used to call it www. Unity provides for us Unity web request a post, so we can send information to the backend. This register here will receive a name, we receive a password, an email, and we receive a password. So the structure will repeat itself when you use the post. So for here we need to create a form. So has a www form, we can call it form, new www form, a form dot add field, and we can create add a field here. This first name is the name where that will be inside the backend. So in there we create a name. In here is this name variable here. So it's easy to understand that this will be inside the backend, and this is this one here. So we can duplicate it 2 more times and create name. So it's a good practice to keep the naming equal, because it's much easier to understand and remember what is going on. And we just create let me create a serialized field here, string URL. I will call it register URL. This will be our localhost 3000 user register. We already used this inside the Postman, so this is the same here, because we were faking the front end in the Postman using this URL, but we now can use it here. Here we can take the URL and the form. So when we are trying to reach the endpoint in the backend called register, the body, remember that I said to you that we send our body request. So we create a form. This form will be the body request that we are sending. Inside this body request there has a bunch of information that the structure inside the route, and inside here we can make some verifications when this response comes back. So remember that we are using the await in the async and the await. They send a response back for us. So we can make a if here and make Unity web request dot result. If this result is equal to Unity web request dot result dot connection error. So if we have some connection error here, this is result, I think. This is www result. So this is the way we want to make the comparison. So it will come a result from the as a result from the backend, and we can compare if that result is a connection error with the server. If it's so, we can debug here and send and show the error, the double error. And else, if everything is good, we can make a debug.log and use again the response as download handler.text. Okay, we can save it, and we need to make a yield here because it is an enumerator. Here we have the yield return www.send web requests. So understanding the code, what we are doing here is creating a body here, a request body. We are trying to sending this body in to this URL that at endpoint, and the response we receive inside this www, that is a unit web request. Then we wait here, this in the will return, this will take this this is will send the request. Then we compare if is some error, and then we receive the information here. And at first we will just see what kind of information we are receiving, and we just need a start function here just for testing, and start coroutine, call register, and we can pass a faker name here, user 02, user 02 at users.com, and we 6 as the password. I will put this code for now inside the main, just because we just are testing. And I cannot connect to the destination host. This is the error that we receive here inside this, because we not run the server. No daemon index.js. Now that the server is running, let's play again. And here we get the message. The message is user successful created. So let's go inside the MongoDB. I will refresh the page. Yes, we have the two users here. The first one create inside the Postman, and the second create inside Unity. So now we just need to take this information here and put inside the function, create text, email dot text, password, text. And of course, before we do this, we can create some verifications here, because let's see that the player let the name empty, so we cannot let it happen. So if it is empty or the email text is empty, we do something. So we debug for now. In the future we can create a message to be seen by the user. Field must not be empty. Of course we did this inside the backend, but we can do it inside the frontend too, and return here. One more verification. I will just copy and paste. So the verification we want here is the password dot text is different from repassword dot text. So we send passwords are different. So so it knows that he made a bad rewrite the password and the real password wrong. And then if all right, so we can start the coroutine and register the user. But now we are doing it inside the Unity UI. This is our image. I will call it login. Inside this I will put, of course, register, and I put the register script inside it. I can hide it in the inspector, it could not be here. Just drag all the fields. I'm sorry I put text mesh pro, but there is text mesh pro input field. We need the input field here, so change it for and remove the serialize from the URL because we don't need to see it there. Save it. All the code is the same. Now we drag the inputs: email, password, repassword. Inside the enter button, we need to create a function here, not a start function, but enter function that must be public because we need to access inside the button. We can use it here, drag the register and come to the register use and enter. Now we can create a new user. Now let's create a new user. So let me remove from the camera. We need to remove this script, the controller. We don't need that. We can remove this here, the register that we put before. Okay, we can save now. We can enter user 03 user 03 at users.com. 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 and enter, and the message user successfully created. We can come here to the MongoDB and see what happens. And this is it. This is very good. As a challenge for you, I will challenge you to create a login. It's the same thing here, just make it happen. But in this case, we can use the register enter. So we need to change it to login enter and create a login instead of enumerator register. You can create a new script called login user. So I will let it enter at the same. But we create a new script. So this is a challenge for you. In the next video, I will bring to you this script called login. If you cannot do it, just change here the URL. And everything else is the same. So this is it for this video. Please subscribe to the channel, give a like if you like the videos, and stay tuned for more. I see you there. I see you in the next video, and cheers.